All of us talk to the television sometimes. I know I do. My wife says it's like I'm a different person when I'm watching football, and apparently I'm known to use rather colourful language. Similar things reportedly happen whenever I watch BBC Question Time. Of course, I couldn't possibly comment. But now we're actually being asked to talk to the television as part of the coronation for Charles III. The Observer reports this. Members of the public watching the coronation on television, online, and in parks and pubs will be invited to swear aloud their allegiance to the monarch in a chorus of millions of voices to be known as the homage of the people. People around the UK and abroad will be invited to say the words, "I swear that I will pay true allegiance to your majesty and to your heirs and successors according to law, so help me God," in a declaration that replaces the traditional homage of peers. Charles has talked about modernising the monarchy, and this is apparently what that looks like. After all, the homage of the peers has been a constant of coronations for centuries. At previous coronations, dukes and various members of the aristocracy were expected to pay homage to the monarch and pledge their allegiance to the sovereign, presumably so they wouldn't try and launch a coup or side with an invading foreign power. But today, such things are more likely to be a problem for a character in an HBO series than a consideration for the royals. So this has been updated by Charles to become a homage of the people, talking at your TV screen to you and me. Describing this momentous occasion, a Lambeth Palace spokesperson said this: "Those watching and listening at home and elsewhere will be invited to make their homage by sharing in the same words, a chorus of millions of voices enabled in the first time in history to participate in this solemn and joyful moment." Solemn and joyful, that's rather a bit of a paradox there, but we'll leave that to Lambeth Palace. So what will this actually look like? Well, the Archbishop of Canterbury will be leading the ceremony, and he will call upon, quote, "all persons of goodwill in the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland and all the other realms and territories to make their homage in heart and voice to their undoubted king, defender of all." The order of service will read as thus: "All who so desire in the Abbey and elsewhere say together, 'I swear that I will pay true allegiance to your majesty and to your heirs and successors according to law, so help me God.'" But that's not all, because it will be followed by this: the playing of a fanfare where the Archbishop will proclaim "God save the King," with all asked to respond, "God save King Charles, long live King Charles, may the King live forever." May the King live forever. Has this country turned into Disneyland? Because I hate to disappoint you, Justin Welby, King Charles isn't going to live forever. Nobody does. We all die. After all, he's just a man, not a god, which kind of makes me think this whole thing is rather sacrilegious. But look, I'm a Catholic, so it's not really my problem. Barnaby, how do you feel about being asked to talk to your TV and asking that Mr. Charles Windsor lives forever?
This stuff matters because the cultures of deference that are built into British society matter. The reason they care, the reason that when Charles was about to be crowned, they went into overdrive to attack and shut down protest in order to make it look like the whole transition was seamless, is because they know that making people believe that we're all inferior to those born with blue blood is one of the mechanisms by which class society gets reproduced. You know, I've seen it again and again and again. Smart people from working class backgrounds who are held back by a belief that they are genuinely inferior to those idiots born with a silver spoon in their mouths. It's one of the ways that British hierarchies get sustained, by telling us that we are somehow lesser than this family of corrupt, child abusing and those who cover up child abusers, profiteers who gained millions and millions from slavery and who now respond to that by saying they're going to fund one PhD to look into the slavery money that went into funding their palaces. Here's a different kind of suggestion for a different kind of country. We could take all of the money that the royals have amassed by theft, corruption, slavery, and abuse over centuries, rather than letting them sit there with those big diamonds stolen from colonies around the world. We could take all of that, give much of it back to people all over the world from whom it was stolen, and still have money to spare to fund nurses' pay rises, to fund the schools that are falling apart, the hospitals that we need to build so people don't lie in corridors waiting for operations. We could fund all of that, and Charles could be liberated to retire as all of us want to retire and enjoy a peaceful, stable old age. Or if he needs to make some money, he could get a job in any of the booming sectors that his subjects have to get jobs in. He could find himself working in an Amazon warehouse or could deliver pizzas on Uber. I don't know that he's qualified to do much else. He could live the life of most of us and be liberated from the endless scrutiny and observation that makes his private life into a public charade, a public circus. We could liberate him. We could free the royals to become human beings and not objects of endless paparazzi scrutiny. They could go abroad and deliver pizzas elsewhere if they want to avoid scrutiny. And the rest of us could enjoy the wealth that they have amassed and not waste it on events like coronations. But these events aren't meaningless. They're ways of instituting deference. They're ways of telling British people, you are inferior to those who were born above you, so you should do as you're told, shut up and accept the crap they give you. That's what royalty does. That's why it matters. Even if it didn't cost a penny, it would matter, because it tells us that the world is divided into those who are born superior and those who are born to serve, those who are born to degrade and those who are born to be degraded. That's why some of them end up abusing kids, because the whole culture of the institution says that only some people matter and other people don't. That some people are there to be pampered with servants fulfilling their every whim, and other people are just there to be abused. That's not the kind of country I want to live in, and that's why I think we need to get rid of them, to save them from their life of miserable family drama, and to save all of us from the culture of deference.